most of this campaign, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump have stuck to doing friendly interviews. Kamala Harris has gone on MSNBC and The View, and Donald Trump has gone on outlets favorable to him, like Newsmax and the No Fatties podcast with the Roofie Bros, sponsored by creatine. But this week, they tried something new.
She's going into the lion's den of Fox News.
Kamala Harris went into the lion's den.
Kamala Harris went into the lion's den and came out unscathed.
Donald Trump last night had a town hall on Univision. He goes into rooms that are not very friendly.
Donald Trump is willing to walk into the lion's den.
Yes. Both Kamala and Trump went into the lion's den this week. Although they only got Trump there by telling him it was the name of a strip club. Now, Kamala's lion's den was Fox News, so I guess it was a fox den where she sat down with Bret Baier, so maybe it was a bear's den. Anyway, it doesn't matter what animal it was. The point is, it was very tense.
The first bill, practically within hours of taking the oath, was a bill to fix our immigration system.
Yes, ma'am. It was called the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021.
Exactly.
It was essentially a pathway to citizenship for the... Yes, ma'am.
May I finish responding, please?
But you
have to let me finish.
There were no concerns raised?
Brett, Joe Biden is not on the ballot.
I understand.
And Donald Trump
but
is.
You talked about it.
And Donald Trump
After George Clooney said within a few minutes of talking to President Biden at a fundraiser that he thought this was not the same Joe Biden that we saw on the debate stage.
Donald Trump is on the ballot.
I understand, Madam Vice President.
How Donald Trump has
all of this money
has treated and talked about America's military and military service people, calling them suckers and losers,
Hamas,
has diminished
and Houthis.
the significance.
We're talking over each other. I apologize.
Sorry, can we get that mute button from the debate so she can complete a sentence? Brett, you invited her on to speak with you. This is an interview with the vice president, not sex with your wife. You have to let the woman finish. Come on. The whole interview was like this. When he wasn't trying to shut her up, he was trying to put words in her mouth.
If that's the case, why is half the country supporting him? Why is he beating you in a lot of swing states?
It's not supposed to be. It is not supposed to be a cakewalk for anyone.
So are they misguided, the 50%?
Listen,
are they stupid? What is it?
I would never say that about the American people.
I would never say that about the American people. I would think it. I'm only human, but I would never say it. Never. Come on, Brett. That was such an obvious trap. Now, Madam Vice President, just put on this I'm with stupid T-shirt and stand next to this map of the United States. So that was Kamala's experience in the lion's den, an interview with the news network that openly serves as the propaganda arm of her opponent. But Trump also faced down his biggest fear: Hispanic people. He attended a Univision town hall where one man asked him about January 6th. And if I'm reading that man's facial expression correctly, he was not impressed.
You know, what happened during January 6th and the fact that, you waited so long to take action while your supporters were attacking the Capitol.
These are people that walked down. This was a tiny percentage of the overall, which nobody sees and nobody shows. But that was a day of love from the standpoint of the millions.
Your dad gives you when you've obviously been lying to him. No, Dad. Actually, they switched all the grades around, so now F is the highest. Anyway, before you go out to the garage, I don't know where the car is. But that face makes total sense, because what is Trump talking about? January 6th was a day of love? Sure, we all remember January 6th. That was the day when countless rioters found their soulmate. Wait, I read that wrong. Cellmate. They got cellmate. Cellmate. And in fact, the whole audience was one big reaction gift. Just watch the crowd's reaction as Trump continues his rambling answer on January 6th.
Some of those people went down to the Capitol. I said, peacefully and patriotically, nothing done wrong at all, nothing done wrong. And action was taken, strong action. Ashley Babbitt was killed. Nobody was killed.
Yes, this is the appropriate reaction to when Trump speaks. I have never felt more seen. I can't believe I had to watch Univision to feel like I had representation on TV. Feels good. So Kamala and Trump spent this week in the Lion's Den. The question is, did it help them? To answer that question, we go live now to Grace Kuhlenschmidt. Wait, sorry, where are you right now?
Where am I? I'm in a lion's den,
Oh, no, Grace, that was a metaphor. You know the candidates weren't literally in lions' dens, right?
Okay. Now I do. Sorry, I didn't realize we were all speaking in riddles.
Grace, they were never going to meet in a real lion's den. Why would they do that?
Yeah, honest mistake on my part.
Okay.
But maybe they should. Those interviews yesterday taught us nothing new about them, but here in the lion's den, I've already learned so much about myself. Like, for example, I've learned I don't like being in a lion's den. Also, I learned I love black pants. I pissed myself and no one knows.
I mean, we all do now.
Great! That's great, because interviews are about honesty. You know, I get to the truth. I dot my I's and I piss my pants. I also learned that the lions don't care that I'm gay. Yeah, if they eat me, it's with full acceptance of who I am. In here, we're not Republican or Democrat, we're just predator and prey. We've lost sight of that in this country, and that breaks my heart.
Grace, it sounds to me like you just skimmed the email I sent you, went to a lion's den, and are now trying to spin it into something more profound.
That's exactly right, Desi. See, this is the kind of honesty you can only get inside the den. So if the candidates want to prove their worth to the American people, I challenge them to meet me here with an open heart and a fresh pair of pants.
Okay. Grace